What up, my peeps? It's your Knucker Big Rucker back at you again with another dinosaur model review. What we have this time is Behemoth, the Giganotosaurus, courtesy of Nanmu Studio. It is a line that they specialize in Jurassic Park inspired dinosaurs, and that's where Behemoth comes in. He's based off of the Giganotosaurus that will be in the upcoming film Jurassic World Dominion. As with most of the creatures in the Jurassic franchise, they are not scientifically accurate. In some cases, they're made larger than they should be. Other cases, they're smaller than they should be. The Dilophosaurus is one, for example, in the very first Jurassic Park. Anyone that remembers that film, they had that animal was totally inaccurate. For one, he was, or I should say it or she was too small. The Dilophosaurus grew to about 20 feet long. So you know that that creature was too small, unless it was supposed to represent a juvenile or something like that. But I doubt it. And then there's no way of knowing if they had frills or not. That was total embellishment on Universal's part right there. And the venom, we have no idea if they spat venom or not. So that's one example. In the last two Jurassic movies, the Mosasaur, way too big. That Mosasaur was like 85 feet long. They only grew to maybe 50. That's about it. So they went way oversized on that. But from what I'm gathering from the trailers that we've seen on Jurassic World Dominion, they oversized the Giganotosaurus. Now, they do that, just so there could be a creature that's supposedly more formidable than the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Rexy, as she's called in the films. They did it with Spinosaurus. The way they did that is they had the Rex that the Spino fought was just a subadult. It was only about 37 feet long. It wasn't fully grown. And they're doing the same thing with the Giga. The way how I know that is they had Malcolm say bigger. Why do they always go bigger when the Giganotosaurus stepped to the group there? And the way I know that they've got the Giga way oversized is the fact that he said that Giganotosaurs were larger than T-Rexes, or at least it's suspected that they were, because the fossil remains that they found of a Giganotosaurus was they could estimate that it could grow to up to 45 feet long. Tyrannosaurs, we've got skeletons that are somewhere, they're almost, the biggest one, Scotty, that's the name of the skeleton, is nearly 43 feet long, if I'm not mistaken. Sue held the title at around 42 feet long. So you see what I'm saying? If the Giganotosaurus actually did grow to 45, that's only almost 3 feet larger. So you're talking about 3 feet stretched over 40-foot plus long animals. So you're not going to notice right off the bat that something is bigger than something else when there's only a 3-foot difference and you're talking about 40-foot long animals. So, suspension of disbelief, and they've got to dramatize it for us, for we the audience. So anyhow, enough about that. What we're going to do is open up the package and get Behemoth out and see what he looks like for real. Behemoth comes with this card that shows the whole profile of the animal, his or its foot, its left foot. It shows an illustration of its forelimbs, and then you've got a couple angles of that skull. And I can't read any of it. It's in Chinese. Nanmu is a Chinese company. That's on this side. On the other side, you have some nice artwork of a Giganotosaurus in what is surmised to be its natural environment. So that's a pretty good accessory. Behemoth, or Giganotosaurus, comes with this base included with the figure, the model, and it's you see it's got pegs placed where the footprints are, and it's just it's a simple base. Glad to have it. I'm interested to see if the model will stand on its own if you didn't want to use the base. But the base is pretty nice. You see it's got nice texturing there. It's like it's either a rocky cliff it's supposed to represent, or some type of rocky landscape, rocky terrain that the Giganotosaurus was crossing over. It's got some nice line work in there. It's pretty good, pretty detailed. And then on the other side, it reads Behemoth. It's got a symbol of some type of vegetation. Almost looks like a skew. And then of course there's the writing that I can't understand. And here we have Behemoth, the Giganotosaurus, out of the packaging and on his base. And first glance, he is very, very impressive. Very stylized, as you would imagine a Jurassic World movie would be. And looking pretty good. Stylized in, when you look at the back, you see the scoots looking very crocodilian. We'll take a closer look. But it's looking pretty good. He is supposed to be a 135 scale figure, but I could tell you right now that this is definitely larger than 135 scale, and you'll see what I mean a little bit later in the review. But he does look very nice. The coloring, he is colored, this is called obsidian. He did come in different colors. His standard color, the one that was initially advertised when Behemoth was announced, and I believe Behemoth was announced either at the beginning of 2021 or at the end of 2020. So I saw him and I decided to get him. I was late to that Nanmu party, but he looked too good to pass up, so I went on and got him. But he also came in this like tan beige kind of color with stripings. Looked pretty good, and I actually was torn. I was torn between getting that one or getting the this colored one, and I believe there was a third color, but I wasn't even interested in that third color. It was coming down to either obsidian or that standard tan color, which, like I said, was very nice, very nice. It was basically that tan color, and it had some nice striping on it. But I decided to go with the obsidian, and I am happy I did. It's looking very, very nice. Just to give our Giga some flavor, I added a couple props behind it, and yeah, so that makes it look better on screen. Don't you agree? Anyway, once again, talking about Behemoth here, the Giganotosaurus. I had said that it's loosely based on Jurassic style. It's sensationalized is what it is, but I have to admit they did not go the full Jurassic. And what I mean by that is I'm looking at the forearms and the claws, the hands, if you will, are they're both pointed inward. They're not pronated, meaning bunny rabbit style like we're used to seeing in Jurassic Park. You look at the raptors, look at their their paws, their hands, their claws, if you will, on their forearms, and they're pronated, meaning that they're not turned inward, they're turned back, and they have that appearance, the bunny rabbit appearance. The same thing with the T-Rex, and I'm not seeing that here. And we'll get a close-up of that in a second. You'll see what I'm talking about. But it is still sensationalized. Looking at the skull, looking at the spines on the back, it's definitely Jurassic World inspired. A little history on Giganotosaurus. It's a theropod, meat eater, grew to estimated up to 45 feet long. And they estimate that just based on certain fossils that were found, like leg bones, femurs, things of that nature. They measured that, the skull, and all that type of stuff, and they extrapolate what they think a creature could have possibly grown to. Even if they have a near complete skeleton, if they can tell that the animal hasn't fully grown, they can get an idea of what it may grow into in terms of its full size. Like I said, Giga could grow up to about 45, probably averaged about 43 to 44, and they lived in what is now Argentina. And they were in the, I call it the moderately late Cretaceous, about 99.5 to 97 million years ago. So these guys were extinct by the time Tyrannosaurus Rex ever came about. So there are 2 points of contention there. First of all, Giganotosaurus is a South American animal, whereas Tyrannosaurus Rex is North American. Secondly, one was already gone by the time, well before the time the other even emerged. So there's no way that scene at the beginning of Jurassic World Dominion could have ever taken place. So that's another example of creative/artistic license. Anyhow, that's about all I'm going to say about that. We could tell it ate meat, yeah, it was as large as it was because a lot of the animals around it were large. It was once again in Argentina, and we had some very large sauropods, the long-necked dinosaurs, that were so big they made the brachiosaurs. And I use brachiosaurs because even the most unknowledgeable of dinosaur enthusiasts, everybody knows what a brachiosaur is if they've seen Jurassic Park. So a lot of the sauropods, they were titanosaurs. They would make the brachiosaurus. It's be like comparing a cockatiel, if you know what that is, bird, to a cockatoo. Both are in the parrot family, but the size difference is there's no question. It'd be just like that between a titanosaur like an Argentinosaurus versus a Brachiosaurus. You're talking about the difference of about 75 to 80 feet versus 110, 115 feet. So, and even then, this critter right here still wouldn't be big enough to take down a full-grown titanosaur on its own. So it's my belief that they hunted in packs. But until we have evidence, meaning like a bed of fossils that show a bunch of Giganotosaurs together and that they died together, like maybe during some type of calamity or something, that's only speculation. What we do know is we've got this model in front of us, and we're going to take a measurement of this critter right here from the tip of the nose to the end of the tail, and we're talking about somewhere like 17 inches. So that would translate to, at 17 inches, that would make it definitely not 135 scale. That would be about 141 scale, I think that would be, if I were to calculate that. Yeah, it would be about 141 scale, so definitely not 135 like Nanmu Studio indicates. So, so much for that. As far as the height on this guy, we're talking at the highest point on the stand, it's about 7.5 inches. And that's probably about 7 inches off the stand, looking at the stand right there. So yeah, pretty nice sized. As far as the stand, I had stated earlier, if we wanted to see if Behemoth could stand on his own without the stand, and yes, he can. Yes, he can. And then now we can actually get an accurate measurement of him standing on his own. And we have, at the highest point, just a skosh over that 7-inch mark. So he's a tall boy for a dinosaur model, for sure. And now we're going to take a closer look at our boy Behemoth. Getting up close and personal with Behemoth, the Giganotosaurus. Looking at that head, had a very, very large head. I believe skulls have been estimated to be about 6 feet long. So that means if you stood this guy's head up on its nose or on the back of the head, the skull on the back of the head, and stood it up vertically, it'd be as long as I am tall, or nearly so. I'm blazing a 6'2" here, so that's a big dome. That's a pretty big dome. This model he has an articulated jaw, so he can open his mouth up to that far. You don't want to go too far because you see it'll start to separate right there. You don't want that going on, but that's pretty cool. As far as the teeth work, you see that they're all individually sculpted and placed in. Looking at that mouth, that's pretty nice there. You got the nice watery looking tongue. That's cool. That you see the eyes. It's the head is definitely shrink wrapped. That means that like right here, fenestra and all that stuff is all it's like the skin has folded in on that part, and that's another aspect of the sensationalization of going the Jurassic franchise route, because a lot of paleontologists and a lot of dino lovers / collectors don't like having their models shrink wrapped, and that is a term. So you got that. The eye, the pupil is green, and the iris is green, and the pupil itself is black. The surrounding tissues got that red. And once again, we're talking about looking at the different colors. This is classified as obsidian, but you can see different shades in there. Looks pretty good. Going further down, I want you to look at the arms like I was talking about. See how the claws are going inward towards one another. That's natural. Dinosaurs, theropods in particular, could not pronate their hands. In other words, they could not turn them to face down, so to speak, or back, bunny rabbit style. So you've got that. Got the nice underbelly. And I'm not going to stamp too long on that, because once again, we saw how nice the colors are. We can see as I went further down off camera, so you can see the detail, the scalation and everything. Moving towards that leg, the left leg, you see how nice that looks. Taking a look at those claws, it's pretty cool. Once again, like I said, this is not a scientifically accurate model, but it is a fun one, a nice one to have. So that's why I got it. I plan on getting the Nanmu bull Tyrannosaurus, which is totally based off of Jurassic Park 2, with the bull T-Rex in color and the size, and the differences in the skull between a bull T-Rex and male T-Rex. and a female T-Rex. Now is some size comparisons with bona fide 1/35th scale Giganotosaurus. Here's one from the company is called GR Toys, and as you can see, as I lower this down some so you can see it a little bit better, way outclassed by Behemoth there. So you can see right away that the Nanmu Giganotosaurus is not 1/35th scale. The GR Toys is, and that's a pretty nice size model itself too. Also has articulated jaw. And one more, we're going to compare him with my current favorite dino line right now, and that would be the PNSO Giganotosaurus. And he comes on a stand, and I'm keeping him on the stand because he really can't stand on his own with the pose that he's in. And but it does, of course, bring him up a little bit higher. Of course, that would get negated if I put Behemoth on his stand as well. But yeah, this is the PNSO Giganotosaurus, and he's got with his articulated jaw, it goes way down. That's too far down, I think. I don't think they could have gotten their mouths open that wide, but maybe they could, because like I said, they did go after Titanosaurs, large sauropods, so that might be the case. They may have been able to do that. Anyhow, that is our comparison with 1/35th scale Giganotosaurus from two different companies. And here I have Behemoth the Giganotosaurus by Nanmu Studios back on his display base. And to sum it all up, I got this critter. I went back and forth for a few weeks before I finally decided, you know what, go on and get it. You know you want it. If you keep revisiting the idea in your mind, go ahead and get it. And I did get it. I'm glad I got it. Of course, another first world issue is where am I going to put it? He will have to stand separate from my other dinosaur models, because they are more or less within scale of one another. A lot of them aren't totally 135. Some of them are 133. Some are 138, but they can all more or less fit in. It's not too gross a disparity, because the ones that are coming in under, you could just pass them off as subadults or whatever. So, but this Nanmu guy stands alone. I already have an idea. When I finally get that bull T-Rex, I'll have those two together, probably opposing one another, you know, almost like a throwback or fast forward, if you will, to the inevitable end scene of Jurassic World Dominion. Anyway, thank you guys for rocking with me. That's the end of this review. Just wanted to show off a dinosaur, and I will be showing off some more dinosaurs too. We're diverse here at Rux Toys, and yeah, that's how it's going to go down. Anyhow, thank you guys for rocking with me. Please like, please share, and most definitely, if you have not done so already, subscribe and smash the bell so you'll be notified the next time I upload a video, whether it be dinosaurs, whether it be G.I. Joe, whether it be Star Wars, whether it be Marvel Legends, or whatever. Until the next time, my peeps, remember, the hunt continues. And I'm out. Peace.